Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte. And today we're rounding third on our season preview series. Make sure to check out the rest of this series. But today, we're heading in the Metropolitan Division. Our last team in the Metro, the Washington Capitals. So we're staying on the East Coast today. And the Capitals, kind of an interesting offseason. They made some moves here and there. But is it good enough for the Caps to get into the playoffs? 2023. We're going to discuss that today. So the Washington Capitals last season had a pretty good season, but they came up short in the postseason. They lost to the Florida Panthers. They were the 8th team in the Eastern Conference, which means they were the second wild card, playing a President's Trophy winning. What did they win the President's Trophy? Yeah, the Florida Panthers. And they came up just a little bit short, losing in 6 games last year, but they put up an impressive run. They actually led the series at one point. But there were some questions about this team. They have a new goalie tandem coming into this season. Samsonov, bye-bye. Vanecek, bye-bye. So now we're looking at a new group there, and that's part of the discussion today, and we're going to start there. So the Washington Capitals bring in Charlie Lindgren and Darcy Kemper as the new goalie tandem in DC this season. I do like this. I honestly like Charlie Lindgren more than I like Kemper, and I'll explain that in a second. Yes, I know Kemper won the Stanley Cup in Colorado, but he was not that amazing. I worry that he kind of had his peak this past season, and he might struggle a little bit in Washington. So I think it was a good signing. It makes sense. I know Washington likes their bigger goaltenders, but I do honestly like Charlie Lindgren, and I think this is a more of an underrated thing. I know some of you guys are going to say I'm crazy. Let me know down below, but I think Charlie Lindgren is a great backup. I'm just not sold on Kemper being a full-time starter with Lindgren as your backup, if that makes sense. So we'll see how that plays out. They also made some signings up front, and a lot of this has to do with the injuries. The Capitals have a couple of key injuries to start next season, which kind of leads into the controversy for the Capitals next season. So you look at some of their key injuries right now. They have Tom Wilson, Carl Hagelin, and Nick Backstrom on long-term injured reserve right now. And it looks like Backstrom and Hagelin could both miss, at the very least, at least half of next season. So they bring in Dylan Strome and Connor Brown to help kind of fill out their group up front. Those are obviously key injuries, and nothing against Dylan Strome and Connor Brown, but Backstrom, Wilson, and Hagelin, those are some key core pieces to your forward group completely gone. So that's where we're going to start off today, with that group kind of being that's a loss for them, right? And you consider the fact with Hagelin and that freak injury he had in practice, he's got an eye injury. He may never see out of that eye again. Wilson, I don't even know what happened to Tom Wilson, but he's injured. And Nick Backstrom, I know, has been having some big issues, which might lead him to missing the entirety of next season. And people are questioning the rest of that 3-year contract that he has left. What's even going to happen there? So, major concerns in that regard. And I don't know what I think of the Capitals in a landscape in that Metro Division that is just so weird and very competitive. I just don't know if Washington, if they get off on the wrong foot next year, I don't know if they'll be able to make up that ground in the second half of the season, with the fact that Backstrom and Wilson and Hagelin even return next season into the lineup. Now, obviously, it's going to be very hard to doubt Alexander Ovechkin and John Carlson and that group. But if I remember correctly, at the end of this season, a lot of Caps fans were even saying, are we on the verge of a rebuild in Washington, right? Because as good as the new goalie tandem kind of looks, how much better is it than Vanecek and Samsonov? And is it not more of a defensive issue? Because you look at this blue line, you've got Carlson, Orlov, Jensen, Van Riemsdyk, Eric Gustafsson, who was a great addition, Martin Fehervary, and Matt Irwin. How good is that group, right? The only real addition there was Eric Gustafsson, and he's a good power play guy, can move the puck on the power play, but other than that, what else do you really get on the blue line? I think there are some deficiencies on that blue line, and I think that the Capitals had that issue in the playoffs last year. I just don't think their structure was very good, and I hate to say it, I just don't think the talent is there. I really hate to say that, but I just think that's kind of where they're at. And I think that they're only getting older. John Carlson is now 32. Backstrom's 34 if he comes back. Hagelin's 34. You're talking about a group that is on a little bit of the older side. And I hate to even say that about Ovechkin because he's one of my favorite players in the league. He's 36 years old. So when you look at the Capitals, there's reason to believe that they should make the playoffs in 2023. But I'm going to sit here today, and I'm honestly going to say to myself, I have them missing the playoffs in 2023. I'm not sold on the goaltending, and I think I think that Backstrom injury is a backbreaker, and I think that one really, really hurts them. Despite now not really adding to the blue line in terms of tough defensive defensemen, and their depth is good. I like them bringing back Mojo. You're going to need scoring from guys like Axel Janssen-Fjällby and Connor McMichael and Connor Sheary and Dylan Strome. But again, it's more of can they do it and not they will do it. And as Ovechkin continues to get older, how much longer can he carry this team on his back? And I think we're going to find that out this year. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think of the Washington Capitals? Do you think they're a playoff team in 2023? Like I said, I predict they will miss the playoffs in 2023. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.